The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course ranks among America's premier road racing facilities. The track has hosted every major American road racing series worthy of the name. The list of drivers who have stood atop Mid-Ohio's victory podium is a who's who of racing legends. Constructed near Mansfield, Ohio in 1962 by Les Griebling, Mid-Ohio originally featured a 2.4-mile, 15-turn layout consisting of a blend of fast, medium, and slow-speed corners, one long straightaway, and several dramatic elevation changes. Although the track was updated over the years, Jim Truman, founder of the Red Roof Inn motel chain, thoroughly modernized the facility after acquiring the track in 1982. In addition to new garages, paddock area, and operations tower, the update tweaked the track layout to bypass the keyhole chicane, resulting in an optional 2.25-mile, 13-turn circuit. Both configurations begin with the daunting Turn 1, a blind 100-plus mile-an-hour corner, including a roller coaster series of S-bends known as Madness, and conclude with a near 360-degree carousel corner that has virtually unlimited number of lines and apexes. In its 60-plus year history, Mid-Ohio has hosted the United States Road Racing Championship, Can-Am, Trans Am, Formula 5000, IMSA Camel GT, American Le Mans Series, Grand American Road Racing, Champ Car, IndyCar, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car, and even NASCAR. But tonight, it's the DEP Graphics Truck Series, Holler Boyz Racin 110. It's coming up next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Welcome to virtual Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Practice still underway here, extended practice, 3 hours plus, in fact, trying to make sure that every driver has an opportunity to take some time and learn the racetrack here at Mid-Ohio. Certainly a very challenging race course, but in the same token, pretty straightforward, though it does have some technical aspects to it. It's really not a bad track for the novice road course racer to kind of get their feet wet and try to learn the craft. It does take some special skills to be very fast, and drivers like Zach Millett, Neil Quick, and Brian Rose certainly have some abilities here on the road course. As we go down trackside to see where everyone is stacking up, it is those three specifically, Zach Millett, Neil Quick, and Brian Rose, the fastest thus far. Millett's lap time, 1:28.33. Full 1.1 seconds faster than Neil Quick. 1.74 faster than Brian Rose. Looks like we got Haley on the poll in the stream chat. Thanks for chiming in again, Haley. Appreciate the viewership as always. Again, tonight's race sponsored by Holler Boyz Racin. It is the HBR 110. Just under 2 minutes remain in the session. Brian Rose with the ancient Datsun.com colors on board his F-150 tonight, typically a track bar media livery. Mason Wagman driving the stack up, number 28. A little off-road activity there for the number 28 Ford F-150. It's rolling through turn 11, 12, and now 13. Back onto the main straightaway. Difficult to put the power down here at Mid-Ohio. You gotta be a real ginger on the throttle. Track temperatures are cooling off, but still somewhat warm, 116 degrees. We saw as high as 120 in the last hour of the practice session. This might be a preview of what we're going to see throughout this race. A lot of drivers trying to keep it between the white lines. Got Eddie Rose in the stream chat, #1 fan of Brian Rose. Partially the reason he's on this planet. It's a good mental picture for everybody. Looks like Mike Fahey, the first to roll out onto the track, throw down his 2 laps of qualifying. 10-minute session here, certainly won't need all that time. Mike Fahey down into turns 4 and 5. He'll get into the S's here, 5, 6, 7. Nobody wasting any time to get on the racetrack. The majority of the field all taking their time right now to get their laps in right away. Oh, downshift a little too soon. It's going to send Fahey into the Armco. That's not a good way to start the lap. Probably could exit the truck and start over. I don't know if he made it to the line just yet. Switch over to Zach Millett here as he's about to take the green on his opening lap. Hard on the brakes into turn 2, also known as the keyhole. Back to the throttle, hard on the gas, wide open all the way down into turn 4. This little kink here is considered to be a turn. Track temp now down to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Still cooling off. The lower it gets, the faster the times will be. Lap 1 in the books for Zach Millett. It's a 1:28.18, faster than he ran in the practice session earlier on. We'll switch to Neil Quick, his first lap, at 29.484 for the Sim Magic #2. Brian Rose locks in a 1:29.84, the only 3 below 1:30 so far. Drivers upwards of 160 miles an hour down into that corner before they jump on the brakes. Second lap for Millett at 28.95 did not pick up. See if Quick can knock him off here at the stripe. Still second, minute 32. Lost a bunch of time on the second lap around. Mason Wagaman, the number 28 truck, again struggling to get the power down, still keep the rear tires underneath the truck. Solid qualifying effort thus far for Eric Beadle. Currently sits P7. Minute 31.49. Beadle more of a dirt racer than anything else. Nick Cote on the speedway, number 94. Oh, he gets a piece of the grass. He's going to slide off track, go through the kitty litter. Just go right back to pit lane. Gene Wolfe on his second lap, a minute 32.84 the first time, and he's going to go wide as well into the grass. This is through turns 11 and 12. Very long carousel corner to wrap up the lap. Chris Klein on his second lap, minute 31.32. He's P6 currently. You can see he's swinging that truck everywhere underneath the Honda pedestrian bridge. Hit 33.2 for Klein on his second lap. Not what he was looking for sure. We're going to jump out here, get a quick break out of the way before we get to our starting grid. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Numb Thumb's Racing League Truck Series presented by DEP Graphics. On the pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 28.180 seconds, it's Zach Millett. Starting second, the two of Neil Quick, with Brian Rose starting in the third spot. Paul Durkee in the number 13 rolls from the fourth position. Mason Wegeman fifth. Chris Klein's going to start from P6 with Eric Beadle. Beadle Motorsports 119 will start from the seventh spot. Brandon Coleman starts eighth. Mike Adamson with Limitless Motorsports, he'll start from the ninth spot. 10th goes to Justin Lawson. Mike Fahey, the number 47 and Lone Star Racing entry, starts 11th. Juan Jimenez will start 12th. Gene Wolfe going to roll from 13th spot. Daniel Baker is going to start 14th. Double out Joe Bennett 15th. Scott Milner is going to start from the 16th starting position. Blaine Woodruff, the 71, starts 17th. The 8 of Tony Polk. Wicked Loose Racing starts 18th. Nick Cote, the number 94, starts 19th. Russ Kilgore in the 720th, 21st Dave Harden. Last but not least, it's the 60 of Brian Neff. It's your starting grid here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Field going to roll here. Shortened parade lap. Going to be under the green flag momentarily, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be right here for the start. Pace truck begins to roll, as does the rest of the field. Again, shortened parade lap. They're already in through turn 10 and 11. Pace truck is in. Barney the flagman with the green in hand. Green flag. Green flag waves. We're underway from Mid-Ohio. Brian Rose in trouble early, gets turned into the outside tire barrier, is going to have to wait for the whole field to work its way on by. More trouble behind, the 94, the 71 involved, as well as the 8. I think that might be the 7 truck, the Ortho machine as well. We stay under the green flag, local yellow only here in Mid-Ohio. Lap 1 complete. Zach Millett still with the lead. 2.5 seconds on Neil Quick. Let's try to get a look here, see what happened with Brian Rose. And this was coming down through turn 4. Brian goes a little wide. Don't know if there was some contact. Does get the power down a little too soon. I'm going to back it up a little further to see if we can get a better angle on it. Through the trees here, tough to see. This is a good one. Watch from the aerial coverage. Through the trees, Millet off and away. Brian Rose there slides the back of the truck. Powers up a little too early, comes across the nose. I think that might have been Blaine Woodruff. Not 100% sure, but you see Rose does get turned here and sends himself into the tires. It's a shame. Brian definitely has pace at these road courses. They spend a lot of time practicing. While Millet's still out in front now, 3.6 seconds over Neil Quick in the second position. Brian Rose currently running in 17th. Again, as we mentioned in the stream chat, the drivers do have 4 sets of tires over the wall, 70% fuel load, 1 faster pair to use if need be. Now again, Brian's not out of this. Caution's going to come out here halfway. A competition caution in lap 25. The interesting tidbit to this is the fuel on board. These drivers' fuel window is about 19 to 22 laps. So they're going to need to stop for fuel before the break. Question remains, do you take tires at the break or do you take them just before? Justin Lawson running in the 8th spot, ahead of Mike Adamson in 9th. Mike Fahey running in the 10th position. Adamson takes a look to the inside on Lawson, down through turn 10. Takes that position away, moves the 751 machine of Adamson up into P8. Some of these drivers catching that inside curve in turn number 1. You want to stay just to the right of it. Don't want to get on top of it. Upsets the balance of the truck. Right on board with Mike Fahey. This is the 10th position in the 47. He's working on Justin Lawson in 9th. Lawson slides up, locks up a little bit, comes down a little. Tough place to pass. Fahey's going to get the spot. Lawson checks up after cooking the corner. Mike Fahey up into the 9th spot. Brandon Coleman running in the 7th position. Mike Adamson closing in. Coleman still has the 7th position, but Adamson closes in significant there through turns 10 and 11. Now down into the carousel, turn 12, and then the left-hander 13. Coleman does drive out a little bit better through that particular section of the track. Gets the right sides in the grass on the curbing a little bit, upsets the truck. Adamson to the inside, clean pass into turn 1, textbook. We got someone around, I think it's Chris Klein. 51 machine is around, exit at turn number 1. Might have got a piece of the curbing looking at where he landed. Let's take a look at it. Definitely the case. Gets the left side on that inside curve. It's a little bit taller. Very easy to spin the truck around. No contact. Just a quick pirouette and back in the race he goes. Justin Lawson hanging out of the 9th spot. Gene Wolfe now up to P10. Mike Fahey in the 8th position, slowly but surely working his way forward. Tina Coleman real loose and out of shape in turn 12. Fahey closes in a little further, taking a peek inside 1. He's going to have the spot as well. Another textbook pass down into turn number 1. Gets back to the power, up the hill, into the keyhole. It's Mike Fahey up into the 7th spot. Checking back on Brian Rose once again. Remember, our first lap was involved in an incident in turn 4. Just got to the power a little too soon, it seemed. I'm not sure if that started under braking or when he got back to the gas. Nonetheless, rear end of the truck came around. He did make contact with another truck, which sent him into the tire barrier, but he's worked his way back up into the 13th position. Remember, he started 3rd today. Race is not over for him just yet. We do have a competition caution at lap 25. Looks like Chris Klein might have been off track again. Yes, he was. So it's another spot for Brian Rose up into the 12th position. Checking back on the leader, Zach Millett out in front, almost 10 seconds the advantage over the 2 of Neil Quick. Zach Millett just so fast. Doesn't matter where we go, he's going to be a contender for the win, but you get him in a truck on a road course and he is just unstoppable. Brought Zach Millett into the Holler Boyz Racing fold. Going on probably a year ago now, and at the time, I was kind of the one to watch as far as road courses go, but now he's a full second faster than I'll ever be, so those days are long gone for me. Now they belong to the 315. Closes in on some lap traffic. 60 of Brian Neff. This is the 19th spot. Neff just goes to the side, lets Millett on through. Keaton Burnett in the stream chat, just here to watch Fahey wreck. I guess he's filling in for Tristan tonight. So's Kevin. Big Blue, Triple XL. What's going on, guys? Neil Quick running in the 2nd spot. These two started 1 and 2. They currently run 1 and 2. Tell you, that first lap was awful exciting. Let's try and go back and watch it again here. It's a good battle for a moment there with Neil Quick and Brian Rose. In fact, we'll just watch the initial start of the race here once again. Millett gets out to that early jump, but watch the 2 and the 89 of Brian Rose down into 1. Quick gets the better corner. Up the hill into the keyhole. You'll see Quick, he's going to overdrive this corner, go a little bit wide, almost put the left sides in the dirt. Opens the door for Brian Rose. Interestingly enough, that mistake that Neal made out of the keyhole had a big run of momentum down the straightaway. You see Brian, this is the corner he gets his issues from. A little bit of contact with the 28, it seems, and then he gets around across the nose of the 13. So, made some work for himself for the night. So far, so good. He's getting there, back up into the top 10, and Neal Quick drives off the racetrack. This is down into turn 12. He's going to open the door here for Durkee, I think, in a minute. The 13 truck, the Toyota, a ways back, still 5-6 seconds in the rearview mirror. Quick makes the mistake, but it doesn't make him pay. He's back on the track, just loses more ground. 10 laps in, about 15 shy of the halfway break. Eddie Rose in the stream chat. Haven't seen him here with a bit of HBR TV trivia in a while. He says, who has the most wins at this track? I guess the question is in general, like in iRacing, in real life. I want to say it's some kind of Roger Penske affiliation. That's I don't really have an official guess because I'm the broadcast guy, but I feel like it's got something to do with Roger Penske. Kevin Blue says, we all know it's not Mike Fahey. All right, Eddie, let's find out. Who is it? Who's got the most wins at Mid-Ohio? Gene Wolfe goes to the inside of the 20 of Lawson, move Wolfe up into the 8th spot. As long as we're moving forward, we're going in the right direction. Starting to wonder if Eddie Rose asked the question before he had the answer. Well, I'm going to answer it for him. I think it's Scott Dixon with the most wins here at Mid-Ohio, which kind of has a Roger Penske relationship since Penske owns the IndyCar series. But more along the lines of Roger Penske. Penske, as a team owner, has the most pole positions here as we see Gene Wolfe drive off the racetrack. This is now into exit of turn 11 into turn 12. Lawson coming back up. He's going to take that position back away. But Eddie Rose, if you can confirm Scott Dixon as the most wins at Mid-Ohio. Gene Wolfe, after that little off-track excursion, has slipped back to the 9th position. Lawson up to the 8th spot. Lawson disappears off the racetrack. So the same thing we just watched Gene Wolfe do, now Lawson does the same. So Brandon Coleman has crashed as well. Let's go back and look at this. Very offline is the 19 here. I think it's the 19. Yes, it is. Just spins it around. And Eddie, you're correct. That is 6 wins for Scott Dixon here in Mid-Ohio. So Lawson hanging out of the 10th position. He's gone by Brian Neff. Again, that's a lap truck at this point. Joe Bennett, the 00 HVAC machine, the Plus EV F-150, runs in the 11th spot. Justin Lawson's going to hit pit lane here. Now, this is a little early. Again, they can go between 19 and 22 laps on a full load of fuel. I think this might just be for tires. Again, they have 4 sets available to them to use over the wall. 5 if you count the set they start the race on. He's just going to give up a ton of track position here, probably just to make things a little more comfortable behind the wheel of that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. It's down and away. Again, the caution will be out here at lap 25 for the competition caution. Chris Goins in his stream chat. Zach Millett moving a little slow, only 16 seconds in 13 laps. Maybe he's saving some fuel, would be my guess. I don't know if he could save enough to go all the way to the stage. Again, the pit window for fuel, 19 to 22 laps. He's going to have to save a ton to make it all the way to the break, and really there's no sense in it. Especially if you're going to pit prior to the break. Caution will come out, everybody gets stacked back up anyway. But interestingly enough, Quick has actually cut into that lead. Remember, Neil made a mistake in through the carousel a few laps ago. Put himself in the grass, cost him a lot of track position. The gap at that point was about 18 seconds. Since then, it's down to 14.9. See Gene Wolfe in the pits as well. So drivers taking an opportunity here to get some tires. There is a significant amount of fall off from new to old. Again, Millett's best lap today at 28.73. His last lap almost a full 4 seconds slower. In fact, he is still running laps slower than Neil Quick. Neil Quick's last lap at 31.69, almost a full second quicker. Chris Klein in the pits as well. He's had a few of his share of off-track activities. So realistically, if I'm Neil Quick, I almost say to myself, well, I got 4 sets of tires. Why don't I just pit now? Chance it. See if I can force Millett down pit lane. Just because. I don't know, we'll have to see how this pans out here, because again, the caution's going to come out about lap 25. It's going to be really dependent on when we go back to green as to whether or not these drivers will have to make one more stop after the caution. Again, like I said, 19 to 22 laps, depending on how aggressive on throttle the drivers want to be. With that said, if we go back to green quickly, it's going to put us right at the end of that fuel window come checkered flag time. Now, if something were to happen where crazy things, caution comes out, again, your local yellow only, but it's not to say if there wasn't a massive pileup they wouldn't throw it. Have seen that happen. Green-white checkers are turned on. Might be living in fantasy land here, but we can dream. Tom in the stream chat says Millet is a beast. He's frustrating. He's really good. He's been doing this iRacing deal, I think 10, 12 years. I don't know exactly the years, but it's at least 10. Lots of experience. Very familiar, especially with the trucks. He's a savage on road courses. "16 laps in, we're going to jump out and get a break out of the way. We're going to go HBR TV side by side so you guys don't miss a second of the action. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Mid-Ohio, we talked about it before we went to break. Drivers starting to take an opportunity to hit pit lane somewhat earlier than we had expected. Millet stays on the racetrack. Currently, it's Zach Millet P1, Eric Beadle P2, Mike Adamson, Mike Fahey, the top four. Those drivers have yet to see pit lane. Neil Quick, however, just completed his 4-tire stop. 14.97 seconds for the two. Good stop. Brian Rose up to P6. Still needs to make his pit stop. Millet down into turns 4 and 5. Mike Adamson makes his pit stop. Keep an eye on Millet here, see if he takes the opportunity to come to pit lane, or how far he waits. He's saving fuel. That truck was in neutral, it sounded like, as he rolled through the corner. Millet stays on the track. It's right on board with Zach and listen for him to save some fuel. Yeah, coasting into turn 1 again. You can hear it. Clutch is in. Truck just idling. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's not an easy task to do. This is going to be another big opportunity to save. Let's listen again and watch the tack between the steering wheel and drop all the way down to idle. 1200 RPM. Downshifting. Letting the clutch out about here. Yep. Coasting again. He is saving a ton of fuel right now. Now, to talk about why that's difficult or how it's difficult is a lot of times the drivers are using that deceleration of the rear gear and downshifting and the rear brakes and so on and so forth to help turn the truck. Likewise, they can use the throttle to kind of steer the truck coming out. If he's doing a lot of coasting in and out of the corners, he doesn't have that advantage. So he's got to do it all steering wheel, lift, coast. Benefit, you save a ton of fuel. I think he's going to try and run this all the way to the stage. I say stage, it's not an official stage, it's competition caution only. Millet's last lap, a minute 33. Neil Quick goes fast lap, minute 29:47. His fastest lap of the race. Still not quite a 28:73. That belongs to Zach Millet for fastest lap overall. A truck off track just in front of the leader. Might be Justin Lawson. Let's take a look and see what happened with Lawson here. This is down into the keyhole. Two trucks off. Looks like that might have been Brian Neff also off track. Same corner, Brian Neff. He's late to the brakes, drives it straight into the wall. So interestingly enough, Neil Quick has made his pit stop. We talked about that undercut he was going to try to do. He did try that. Millet's going to stay on the track. He's still saving fuel, but Quick has a 39-second deficit to make up. But he is all the way back into the second spot after his pit stop, so track position-wise, he won't be in too bad a shape with the caution coming out soon. Just got to stay out of trouble between now and then. He's got some slow trucks that he's going to have to work around. Current top five, it's Zach Millet, Neil Quick, Eric Beadle, Brian Rose, and Mike Fahey. Only driver in the top five to pit so far is Neil Quick. Interestingly enough, he's made his pit stop and still stays ahead of some drivers that have not. Scott Milner up to P15. tires leaving the pit lane. So Fahey's completed his stop. He's in the 8th position. Then it's Gene Wolfe in 9th. Last truck on the lead lap. Millett's lapped all the way up to P10 so far. And a couple laps shy of the competition caution. Nice thing about that is it's going to give you guys an opportunity to basically watch a whole nother race. Really think about it. First 25 laps will be done, then we got another 25 to finish this one out. Millett through the S's. And Millett comes to pit lane right before the stage. It'll be lap 24 if he gets to the line. He's in pit lane here. He's not going to go all the way to the break. He's going to take his fuel and tires now. But does that mean he stays out during the break? Left side tires going on. That's different. Millett having an issue. Left side tires only changed on the truck. Don't know if that was the plan or not. He did dump the clutch and try to roll and then stopped again. A long stop, 15.62 seconds. That was only 2 tires though. But it was the length of a 4-tire stop and then some. Still comes back out as the race leader, so dodged a bullet with the mistake. Not sure if it was planned or otherwise, but definitely didn't gain any time. Again, the left sides do wear more than the rights here at Mid-Ohio. It just so happens to be that it's convenient for the pits to get to that side of the truck first. So it looks like Double-Out Joe Bennett having an issue. Back on the track, though. So Millett through the trees, closes in on the 51 of Klein. After the pit stop, Millett still has an 8.29 second advantage over the 2 of Neil Quick. Across the line here will be lap 25. This would be the halfway lap.
Yellow's out.
Caution comes out right away.
Now, Jersey. Get more acclimated to it, or is it still difficult?
So now you got to see where the pace car is going to come out here. Millett may need to slow up and let the pace car catch him. So it's interesting strategy being played by Zach Millett here. He certainly has the pace on the field. He doesn't really need to play any games as far as pits are concerned. Bit of a mistake, it seems. Went down, changed the left side tires only, then tried to leave the pit box, but quickly stopped as if, wait a minute, I only got 2. So Chris Klein goes through the sand trap again. Pace truck just now pulling out of pit lane. So Millett's going to tuck in behind. We'll finish this lap under caution. We're going to jump out and get a break out of the way. We'll be back with pit stops after this. Back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, 25 laps to go. Just about in the middle of our competition caution. Field still trying to get caught up to the leaders as they work through turn number 10 and 11. Curious to see who opts for pit lane here. If I'm Zach Millen, I just stay out. I know he didn't get the right side tires that he wanted, but he's going to have to make one more stop for fuel anyway. Might as well just stay out, keep the track position, and pit when the time comes. Nope, he stays out. No, he doesn't. He goes down pit lane, maybe to get those right sides and top off. Real quick comes with. Right side tires for the 315. Does he get the lefts as well? He does. Very interesting. Only did one lap on those left sides. Still down and away before Quick can leave the pits. 14.85 seconds for Zach Millett. Let's see if we can pull Zach into the booth here and get a word with our race leader, Zach Millett. He's still saving some fuel. Zach, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Steve, how's it going, man?
It's going good. So far, so good for you. You've been pretty dominant out there tonight. We watched you save a ton of fuel in that first half. Then pit stop with a lap to go in that first half. Only got left side tires. You seem to dump the clutch and try to go. What was the issue there? Because you've seen you taking 4 this time. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to try. We were lucky enough to get a little distance on second, so I wanted to see if I could possibly make it for the second stint being the same length of laps. Wanted to see if I could make it. I did everything I could to save enough gas, and I still just couldn't make it. It was just shy. So I wanted to make sure of that, and when I came into the pits, I wanted to take just 2 since I wanted to take just a little bit of fuel, just enough to make the stage. And Goodyear told me I got to use some tires here instead of just one set.
So with that said, you come back down for this pit stop. You take 4 with only a lap on those left sides. I know you got plenty over the wall still. I'm actually surprised to see you make the pit stop, considering you're likely going to have to stop for fuel later anyway. I kind of expected you to stay out and maybe just pit under green later on. Was that something that crossed your mind?
It did cross my mind, yeah. Actually, what made the decision was looking at Neil and some of those guys behind him. They all had 7-8 laps on their tires, so I knew they were coming. So I might as well just come in, take some tires, have an even playing field, and go from there.
All right, Zach. Well, we wish you luck the rest of the way. We'll let you get back to it, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, man.
Zach Millett, your race leader, been dominant here this afternoon. Even with the pace that he has had, he's still out there thinking of different ways to get an advantage, and I guess that's really the key to being fast like Millett is. It's not just about raw speed. If you're not always trying to improve, eventually someone is going to go by you You hear guys talk about real life NASCAR. If you're not innovating always, if you're not always trying to get better, you're going to get beat. Millett always trying to get better. That said, pace truck lights are off. We are on the 1 to go, so it'll be 22 laps to go when we get to the green flag. Millett might be able to stretch this from here. 22 laps. I don't know, even with this caution, though, it could still be a stretch. Interestingly enough, it's going to be Zach Millett and Brian Rose out front here on the restart. And I think it's going to be Brian Rose as your control truck, damage and all. Rose pit on lap 22, so he must have stayed out during the caution. Pace truck getting far out in front of these guys. Gotta get caught up. Trying to get the field stretched out, it seems. I don't know how the admins are going to feel about that. So coming down for a restart here. We're in turn 12, the carousel. It's going to be Brian Rose, Zach Millett, Neil Quick, Mason Wagaman, Mike Adamson, the top 5. 11 trucks on the lead lap. Chris Klein, the last on the lead lap.
Green flag.
And flag waves are back underway. Race down into the keyhole. Zach Millett goes to the inside. He's going to retake the top spot from Brian Rose. Brian tries to shut the door on the 2 of Quick. Little bit of contact from Neil. Exit of the corner. Brian Rose now going to power out. Brian slips back to P4, a little nervous maybe on that set of corners. That's where he had his issue earlier in the race on lap 1. Mason Wagaman gets on by, as did Neil Quick. Millett out to a 2-second lead already. Millett at the line with the lead. 21 laps to go. 2.5 back to the 2 of Neil Quick. Quick has stretched it out over Wagaman. Brian Rose back into the 4th spot. Paul Durkee closing in for the 4th position. Meanwhile, it looks like Mike Fahey has crashed. We're going to stick with this battle here for a minute between Rose and Durkee. Durkee's going to get to the inside, it looks. Yes, indeed. Takes the spot away. Move Brian Rose back to P5. Mike Adamson next on the charge. Not sure if the damage still affecting the agentdotson.com F-150 of Brian Rose. Limitless Motorsports number 751 is right there waiting for an opportunity. Haley in the stream chat. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the race. Haley, thanks again for stopping in. Have a good night. Adamson with trouble. Quickly just goes to the pits. Let's watch it again. I know we were on him live when it happened. Looks like Neil Quick might have been in trouble as well. Go back to that in just a moment. I really don't know what happened with Adamson. It's like he had an issue with his wheelbase. The truck just went straight. Neil Quick sideways as well. Let's back this up. Didn't catch what happened with the two. This happened just before Adamson had his problems. This looks to be all by himself. Yeah, just got on the brakes a little too hard, and she came around. Neil backs it up, trying to get out of the way and straighten things out to rejoin this race. Had a good run going. He was up into that second spot. Don't think he had anything for Millett. Still had a solid finish coming his way. We were going to look at a Mike Fahey incident as well. See what happened with Fahey. Down into turn 4. The 09 drives it way deep, locks it up, tries not to get him, but he does. Sends a 47 around. Brian Rose still out front now, 8 seconds ahead of the field. Neil Quick back to P7. So I guess this is going to be the question, though, because these guys are going to need to make one more stop. The question is, when do you make it? Or do you just really try to conserve? I don't think Millett's trying to conserve anything based on the lap time that he's throwing down. His last was a 29:41. But I don't think anyone's going to make it all the way to the finish without having to at least do a splash and go. The question is now for Neil Quick, with him being back in the 7th position, does he take an opportunity to come in a little bit early, sacrifice the track position for some fresh tires? Maybe not now. Again, we're 19 to go. We just went back to the green here recently. But maybe 5-10 laps. Knowing that Neil has to pit, you come down, you get the fuel, you take at least left sides, because that's what's going to take the most beating around this place. Maybe you opt for 4. You can really turn the lap times at that point. See what you can make up on the guys that haven't pit, or maybe you can force them down pit lane to do the same. Fuel percentage, the way that it's laid out in this particular race, makes things awfully interesting. We'll see if guys can take advantage of some strategy and make it pay. Less than 18 laps to go, so we're going to find out. Quick up into the 6th position, so this is going to be fun to watch too. See how Neil can work his way back through the field. See what he can get back. Mill it out to a 10-second advantage over the field. Neil's got about 12 seconds between himself and Eric Beadle. That's more like 8 seconds. Still not sure what happened with Adamson. He never came back to the race. He's having a good run there. It really did seem like... Oh, we got someone going around here. No, he saves it. That was Brandon Coleman. But yeah, Adamson was having a decent run. Just all of a sudden, the truck just went straight. Coleman slides wide again, opens the door for Joe Bennett. Bennett's going to take the spot. No sense in watching Millett right now. 13 seconds ahead of the 56 of Mason Wagaman. Wagaman running in that second position. Having a solid run. Just taking care of the truck. Again, for those of you confused, the 28 truck is the 56 in the timing tower. Paul Durkee into the third position. He's closed in on the 28 of Wagaman. We'll see if he can do anything with him as that battle continues to speed up. Rob Hatton back in the stream chat. Someone spin Neil out. Well, Robert, if you were here for the earlier parts of the race and really just the last couple of laps, you would have seen he did that for himself. No one needed to help him. In case you missed it, though, Robert, we'll play it again. Here it is. Nothing too crazy, just a simple spin. This is the battle for the second spot. Wagaman still has it. Durkee's closed in, though. He's real good on the brakes. Closes down significantly into turn 4. $16 laps to go here before we call this one complete. Now 15 laps to go. Again, the question remains, will you see Neil Quick take a chance here and come down pit lane? Try and bolt on a set of fresh Goodyears. See what he can do with those. He's going to have to stop eventually anyway for fuel, at least just to top off. Goes to the inside with Eric Beadle. This would be for the fifth position. So Quick, after his spin, back into the top 5. Tony Polk, double on Joe Bennett. Bennett takes the spot up through the keyhole. Brandon Coleman down pit lane. So Coleman makes his final stop of the day. Looks like he did take tires as well. 15.1 seconds in the box. Battle between Wagaman and Durkee has gone away. Wagaman starting to stretch it out a bit. 3.5 seconds back to third place, the number 13. Eric Beadle down pit lane. See, this is the indication of everybody else to start trying to come down pit lane. If they just go fuel only, I think they'll probably stay out until the very last minute. It's going to be right sides, at least for Eric Beadle. Fuel, of course. Crew goes around to the left. 4 tires and fuel for Eric Beadle. Doesn't want to fight the truck the rest of the way, so he's down and away. 15.47 seconds for Beadle. Got to make note of Brian Rose. He's worked himself back into the 4th position. Had a tough afternoon. First lap incident put him into the tire barrier. Damage on that truck. Ton of track position lost, and Wagaman goes off the track. He's in the grass. This is going to be another spot for Brian Rose up into P3. So does Brian Rose have anything for Paul Durkee? Work his way back up into that runner-up position. Was there just briefly at the very start through the keyhole and went all downhill after that. Mike Fahey in the pits. Finishes up his stop, 5.47 seconds. Fahey opting for track position instead of grip. We'll see if this is the right choice. 13 laps to go. Wagaman trying to regroup. Reel in Brian Rose. He wants that spot back. Can Wagaman pit under the caution at halfway, lap 26? Brian Rose just a couple of laps prior to that. I know it's not a huge difference, but Wagaman locking up the right front into the keyhole. Mill it out to a 23-second advantage over the 13 of Paul Durkee. Not looking back and not slowing up. Millet still running minute 30.1 the last time by. 12 laps to go. Again, a little bit more excitement still to come. Pit stops for our leaders. Millet certainly not saving any fuel. Curious if Durkee, Rose, Wagaman, or Quick, if they are at all. Quick back into the 5th position, 7 seconds shy of P4. So this is the battle on the racetrack, though. You've got P2, P3, P4 all together here. All battling for these positions. Brian Rose looks to the inside of the keyhole, opens up the door. Durkee's going to go wide, I think. Doesn't get in the grass, but Brian Rose, textbook pass, takes over the 2nd spot here with 11 laps to go. For his sake, let's see if he can drive away before the 28 of Wagaman takes advantage and gets back on by. That's going to happen right here down into turn 4, it looks. Rose goes wide. He's in the grass. Deja vu in contact. Rose maintains the spot. Door-to-door action between the 89 and the 28. Wagaman probably not pleased with that. Rose still maintains the spot, but for how long? Wagaman's going to drive it in deep. This is into the carousel, turn 12. Rose comes to pit lane. Wise choice. Tires starting to fall off. He's going to need to get fuel anyway. We'll see if he uses the fast repair here. Make that truck a little slicker in the wind. Maybe take some tires for some more grip. Brian's battled real hard all afternoon long trying to get back up into a contention position. He does use the fast repair. Fuel only, it looks. No tires going on the 89. Down and away. 8.7 seconds for Brian Rose. No tires. Just going to get back out there and run with it. So after the pit stop, Brian back to P6. Mill it out to a 30-second advantage. 1/3 of a lap ahead of second place Wagaman. Just checking out. Wagaman jumps back into that second spot after Rose takes his pit stop. Paul Durkee still on the racetrack as well. I think Paul has made his final stop of the afternoon. He's got 3 pit stops on the day. It's actually one more than we really thought anybody needed. Of course, Millett took that extra stop during the caution, so he'll have 3 at the end of this as long as he's not in a position to make it all the way to the end on fuel. Wagaman, however, he may need to stop still, so that may be the battle still between Brian Rose and Wagaman. Durkee may be good, maybe not. We'll wait to find out. Neil Quick might have to stop as well. Gene Wolfe, he's made 3 stops. He might be done pitting for the day. He might be in the best position of all. Neil Quick up to P4. He's closing in on the 13. He'll have something for Durkee here before it's over. And by it, that might mean the next lap. Laps to go. Zach Millett still your leader. I don't believe Millett has not led 1 lap this afternoon. I think he's got them all. I'll have to go back and look post-race, but right now, as long as he can finish this one out cleanly, he's certainly got the most laps led. Neil Quick to the inside of Durkee through the keyhole. We said it, 1 lap is all it was going to take. Quick side by side down the straightaway. Contact between the 2 and the 13. Durkee checks up, lets the 2 go. Quick back up to P3. Wagaman in some lap traffic, quickly disposes of that machine, the number 34. Or was it the 94? $31, not even close. The Bass Pro Shop machine. Scott Milner. Oh, and Durkee's loose out of the corner. Saves it. Does he keep it out of the tires? He does. Paul Durkee trying to get back to the power. Oh, he's loose again. Got the rear tires hot. I wonder if the track temp's up. No, it's not. Track's cooled down quite a bit. Remember, we saw 120 degrees in practice. Now track temperature 101. 7 laps to go. Top 9 trucks on the lead lap. Chris Klein, P10, first truck 1 lap down. Wagaman still with P2, but Neil Quick is coming. 7 laps to go, more like 6 as Millett is going to cross the stripe here momentarily. On board with Neil Quick as he tries to get here. Oh, Wagaman cooks it into turn 1. Millett with the lead, but Quick takes the second spot without really even needing to push. Zach Millett has crashed? Did I see this correctly, or is this just a glitch? We'll see what happened here. We'll go back and look at it. Might have been an off track. Oh, yeah, locks up the rears, goes off track, into the kitty litter. Puts his foot back into it, gets back on the racetrack. Scary moment for the 315. I think it was last season, watched Justin Marks lose the brakes going down into that corner and stuffed it firewall deep into the tire barrier. Millett able to drive out of the kitty litter there and continue on. Still with a 28-second advantage over the 2 of Neil Quick, but Millett still might need to make a pit stop here before this one's out. Don't know if he's going to opt for tires. You hear him, he's saving fuel again. We talked about that. That might have been what triggered his incident. Lifting out of the throttle, putting the clutch in and letting the truck just roll at idle. You don't have the assistance, kind of an engine brake to slow the truck down. It's all mechanical braking at that point. Got on the brake pedal a little too hard and it came around. Millett is known for running a lot of rear brake bias. A little more conservative that time through 4. Still trying to save fuel though. Neil Quick in that second spot. Go back and watch this pass for the second spot. See, Wagaman just drives it in deep, slides up out of the groove into the loose stuff, opens the door for Quick, and he drives right on through. Wagaman, good job keeping it out of the grass. Brian Rose still in the 5th spot. Remember, he stopped as well. Only fuel for the number 89, no tires. Ryan's got the 4 of Gene Wolfe howling at the back door. Quick only with about a 2-3 second advantage over the 3rd place truck of Mason Wagaman. Don't know if Mason's going to mount a charge here with 4 to go. Try and get back into that runner-up spot. That would really be the battle for this race. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to catch Millett here unless a mistake happens. We already saw one out of the 315 going down into turn 4. Put it in the grass and then into the gravel trap. Was lucky enough to drive it out. Everyone pretty well separated here. Few seconds between Quick and Wagaman. Another 10 seconds from Wagaman to Durkee. Another 9 back to Rose. Closest two on the track really are Rose and Wolf. There's not a big difference between the two. Wolf trying to get through some lap traffic. Oh, Wolf in the grass. That's going to take the pressure off to Brian Rose for sure. Gene Wolf loose through the carousel corner, turn 12. Driver's having a hard time at the end of this run. Getting been under the green flag here since about lap 27, I believe he went back racing here at Mid-Ohio. That's going to get Brian Rose into that top 5 with no pressure out the back. Again, he's good to go to the finish. He stopped for fuel only. Still, Zach Millett remains on the racetrack, coming to 2 laps to go. Millett way out of the throttle. Minute 32 was his last lap. Neil Quick's pretty slow too, though, a 33.80 and then a 34.79 from Wagaman, and it continues to slow from there. But Brian Rose, he's got plenty of gas. He's a minute 33.05. Second fastest truck on the track, at least this time by. Gonna watch Zach Millett very closely here. Less than 2 laps to go. I can't imagine he's going to try and pit here, come into the white, but I don't know if he's going to have enough Tiger in the tank to make it all the way to the checkers. We were thinking 18 to 22 laps was the fuel window. It seemed like everybody was going maybe 19 or 20, at least on that first half. Track temperatures are down. Pace should be up, which means more fuel burn. Gotta wonder if Millett overdid it. He's way out of the throttle, over the crest, turn 9. Millett into the carousel. Let's see if he peels off and hits pit lane. If he does, I can't imagine he's going to take tires. No, he stays out. He's going to take the white flag here. Barney's waving the white. 1 lap to go for Zach Millett. Does he have enough to make it to the finish? I can't imagine he was able to save that much fuel the way that he was running laps. He was absolutely flying around Mid-Ohio. Best lap of the day was a minute 28.60. It came in the second half of this race. Neil Quick still in the second spot, 34 seconds back. He stays on the track too. He's going to go to the end without stopping. Millett down into turn 4. This is where he had his issue just a few laps ago. Lucky enough to drive out of it. Into the S's, turns 5, 6, and 7. To turn 8. Turn 9, up the hill, over the crest. Still drifting it around the corners. Through turn 10, 11. One more time into the carousel. One more left-hander for Zach Millett. Turn 13 and a checkered flag here at Mid-Ohio. Zach Millett wins the Holler Boyz Racin 110 in dominating fashion. Real quick, trying to bring it home in the second spot. I don't know what was going on in the front stretch. Somebody was peeling out. Neil Quick finishes P2. Paul Durkee finishes P3. Takes the spot from Mason Wagaman. Across the stripe, it's official, and Wagaman's out of gas. And Brian Rose will cross the stripe in P5 after a tough afternoon. Meanwhile, Zach Millett, your race winner from Mid-Ohio, still has some fuel in that truck. We'll see if he's got enough to celebrate. Very happy Zach Millett celebrating here on the front stretch at Mid-Ohio. Might finally be out of fuel. We're going to jump out and get a break out of the way and get our top three into the broadcast booth. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Marco.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. The Holler Boyz Racin 110 is in the books, and Zach Millett put on a clinic here this afternoon, leading the most laps, if not all of them, and takes home the checkered flag by a margin of 30-plus seconds. Zach, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
Good to have you here. Congratulations on the victory here tonight. I know road racing in the truck is just kind of like peas and carrots for you. Certainly put on a performance, a dominating one at that, but it wasn't perfection. We saw a big issue down the backstretch into turn 4, almost threw it all away. What happened coming into the braking zone to turn 4?
I tell you, Steve, I take engine braking for granted big time because that time I was trying to coast down that backstretch as much as I could and then slam the brakes after the initial braking zone or the normal spot, and it just wasn't enough. And I was lucky enough to ramp my truck into the kitty litter, then dump the clutch on impact and keep her going.
Well, we kind of talked about it even before that incident had happened, how important being able to use the engine and the transmission and the gearing on the downshift to help slow the truck and sometimes even rotate the truck properly, and how it was so difficult to save fuel the way that you were. Well, obviously you proved how difficult it was. Even you screwed it up. You almost threw the whole thing away, but a good recovery. You got it out of that sand trap and back in the running. Didn't look back. Little ginger the rest of the race. But the other question I got to ask is, how did you stretch the fuel? Because that second restart, or only restart I should say, you were on a tear. You seemed to have a pace much faster than you were at the beginning of the race. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, there's no way he's saving fuel. He's just going to run this as fast as he can and then pit when he has to. But it wasn't the case. You saved some fuel late, and you still managed to finish this thing without stopping. How'd you do it?
You know, Steve, I'm not going to lie. I planned on pitting. I planned on coming in, taking a splash of gas, maybe even, 2 tires at most with maybe 5 to go. That was the initial plan. And like you said, I was absolutely sending it the first 10 laps on that stint. And I was actually talking to Mr. Chris Goins in the stream here, and we were going back and forth, and we kind of decided, hey, we could probably make it here. Let me clutch it in a little bit and just see. I just trialed it for like 5-6 laps, and then it was working much better than the first run, which I found really strange. So I pretty much committed to it, and we finished with 2 laps to the good there.
You would have had to eat some crow on a silver platter if you had screwed that one up. You got lucky. You were fast. You didn't even need to gamble, but you did anyway. Either way, impressive run here at Mid-Ohio. Nicely done. Are you going to be around next week for one of these things?
I think so. I think the schedule says we're good for a few of these. Yeah, the next 3, I think we're good.
Mid-Ohio to Texas Motor Speedway. What are your thoughts about Texas?
Oh man, I love Texas. I love it. It's a great race. We've had some good races there. We'll put some practice in, and we'll see what we can do.
All right, Zach. Well, again, congratulations on the victory. Before we let you go, who do you want to shout out to?
I'd like to thank you, Steve, and HBR TV for the broadcast and covering this race, and Numb Thumbs Gaming, NTRL, for having this league, Track Bar Media, Eric Dotson, State Farm, Castle Products, and shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
All right, Zach. Congratulations, man. Good luck next week. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, man.
Zach Millett, your race winner here from Mid-Ohio. Next, we're going to pull Neil Quick up into the broadcast booth. Big-time issue on track, and then a big-time recovery to still finish in the second spot. Neil, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Neil, congratulations on a runner-up finish here. It's almost like getting a win when you're racing on the road course with Zach Millett. You had an issue late in the race, off of turn 7. Got the truck crossed up. Don't know if it was on throttle or on the brakes, but you put it in the grass, lost a ton of track position, and then it became a battle to work your way back up through the field. Walk us through what happened and then how you managed to get yourself back into a top 2.
I just barked the tires and got the right side off on that exit coming out of the corner over the rumble strips, and it was kicking sideways before that, and I knew I was in trouble and just tried to save it, and it just hooked there, and it decided it wanted to become a lawnmower instead of a race truck tonight. So nothing to do to the driver. I mean, he's all skill. But no, I mean, this, like I was talking to Zach and Brian and Paul and all these guys about it, it's a fun track. I haven't run here, I don't believe, before at all, even though I had the track. So I ran some laps last night, and just it's really kind of fun. I kind of consider it kind of a roller coaster where you got to really be good with the throttle on and off, and if you're not, it'll bite you. And I mean, I had a couple of those good incidents tonight. So, but I had a lot of fun just learning and trying to get better at road course stuff. So hopefully one day can dethrone that 315. But man, he's a missile out here, especially when it comes to turning left.
Well, HBR TV,
Right.
HBR TV records indicate that your laps here came last in the SCAR GT1 series about a year ago. So if you haven't been on here since then, your road racing has certainly improved. Man, you looked good out here. I'm not going to lie. It was really impressive. You were top of the charts in practice for a little while until Zach got in here. But either way, to finish top 2, to finish second to a fast guy like Millett, it's a job well done, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Steve-O. Yeah, I just need to get some more practice with you and Zach, and really enjoying this. And I think probably a little bit that led in to make it better tonight is I did run 50 laps of Road America on Thursday night last week, and just getting better at just turning right and left and braking points and stuff. So I really like the road courses. Just need to spend more time doing it.
That's all it is. Turn the laps. You will get faster. It's a guarantee. Again, congratulations on the second place finish here. Next week we go to Texas Motor Speedway. We expect to see you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a place that to give it hell and maybe get a win there. So I don't want to call anything and jinx myself, but man, congratulations to 315 tonight, and Paul and all the guys, Mason, for good runs. So look forward to next Tuesday night, and thanks all the sponsors and the NTRL for putting this on so we can run on Tuesday nights, and you guys broadcasting.
All right, Neil. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Steve.
So Neil Quick, your second place finisher here at Mid-Ohio. Next, we're going to pull Paul Durkee up into the broadcast booth. Driver number 13 truck. Picked up that third spot very late in this race. I think it might have been the last lap. Paul, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Turn you up here a little bit. Paul, walk us through what happened on that final lap. We didn't catch it in the coverage, but all of a sudden you went from 4th to 3rd. Was it a mistake, or did you just have one whale of a run?
I think he ran out of gas.
Oh, okay. That's a mistake.
Yeah, I ran out when I was crossing the start-finish line.
Well, it looks like you planned the fuel strategy just perfect. You only need enough to make it across the line at the flag, so nicely done. You had a solid run throughout the night. Seems that you've got some road course background here. Do you run these things on the road at all, or just tonight?
Not so much the trucks. I mean, once in a great while we do, but I do some other road racing and some other games. So it's not like it's all brand new.
Well, it definitely showed. You were impressive to watch out there. Good job battling. Good job giving the inches when it was needed and taking them back when you were able to. Brought yourself home a top 3 finish. So congratulations, that. Certainly a job well done. Next week we go to Texas Motor Speedway. No more right turns unless we're getting out of pit lane. But what do you think about your chances out at Texas Motor Speedway next week?
I think I got a top 5 in me. There's some really good guys in here, real good guys. So, but I think I can pull out a top 5.
Certainly looking forward to it, Paul. Again, congratulations on a good run here at Mid-Ohio. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out to before we let you go?
Yep, I'd like to thank Derek, Numb's Racing. He puts a lot of time and effort into this. And thank you guys. You're doing a great job. Your broadcast is spot on. Really appreciate it. And my teammates, Mr. Lawson and Mr. Coleman.
Well, Paul, thanks for the kind words, man. Certainly do appreciate it. The league makes it easier for me to call these things because you guys usually put on a good race. I know we had kind of a runaway tonight, but plenty of battles to watch throughout the field. You were a part of that. So I thank you back for putting on a good show.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for talking to us. Yep. It's Paul Durkee, your third place finisher here at Mid-Ohio. I almost called it Road America, and I think I might have already done it once. But either way, we're at Mid-Ohio, at least for now. Next week, we go to Texas Motor Speedway. But before we do that, let's look at our race results from Mid-Ohio. We talked to our top 3. It was Zach Millett, Neil Quick, Paul Durkee. Mason Wagaman finished P4. Brian Rose battling back after a lap 1 incident. Effectively a crash. Got into the tire barrier in turn 4. Seemed to be calamity corner for a lot of drivers tonight. It's a tough place to get a handle on, especially down into the braking zone in 4. Great recovery for Brian Rose. 6 was Gene Wolfe. 7th position, that went to Eric Beadle. A solid run for the 119. Doesn't run this asphalt stuff. Certainly doesn't run road courses. Had a great solid careful and safe run. Took care of the truck, brings it home into a top 10, 7th place for Eric Beadle, and the same can be said for Mike Fahey. Another great finish for the 47. Good job for him. Again, not really a road racer per se, but kept the truck clean and brought it home into a top 10. So nice job, Mike. Justin Lawson, 9th. Chris Klein was 10th after some struggles. Was off track quite a bit, but didn't quit. Brought it home into a 10th place finish. Double out Joe Bennett was P11. 12th went to Dan Baker. Brandon Coleman was 13th. 14th position went to Scott Milner. Tony Polk, 15th. 16th was Brian Neff. Blaine Woodruff was 17th. Mike Adamson, after what appeared to be a hardware failure, finished P18th. Juan Jimenez, 19th. Nick Cote was 20th. Russ Kilgore was 21st. And Dave Harden credited 22nd, 50 laps down. Do not believe that Harden took the green flag. So that is your race results here from Mid-Ohio. That's going to wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. Got to thank all you guys in the stream chat for watching. Chris Fahey chiming in at the last second. Woohoo, top 10 and didn't even get lapped on a road course. Good race, guys. Thanks, Steve. Chris, thank you for watching and chiming in. Judy Lennox in here late, also cheering on Mike Fahey. Eddie Rose, of course, Rob Hattenbach, Haley out of Sweden, Tom, and many others. Really do encourage you guys to continue to chat me up here and here best that you can, especially in some of these road course races where things can get stretched out. Say hello. Tell us some jokes. Eddie Rose came in with trivia tonight, okay? It's pretty much everything's fair game. Just keep it PG and we'll be good to go. If you're not already following us, find us at youtube.com/@symbol, the letters HBRTV, and the number 1. It's where all the live streams happen. Like, follow, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss a minute of the action. And also follow us, facebook.com/HBRTV1. It's going to get some Streamlink posts there occasionally, post-race pictures and results, things like that. Nothing too crazy, but it overall helps the channel if you give us those likes and follows. We certainly do appreciate it. We're approaching 500 followers on YouTube. I know that's not a massive number, but it is a milestone number nonetheless, so we can get there soon. I think we're only 7 or 8 shy last I checked, so help us out if you're not already doing it, and if you are doing it, spread the word. Lastly, again, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Join us next week, Texas Motor Speedway. I will tell you, it will be on AAA broadcasting as I'm traveling for work, so I will not be part of the coverage, but tune in for those guys. They cover most of the Numb Thumbs Racing League events as it is. They do an excellent job. Make sure you check them out. AAA broadcasting for next week's race at Texas Motor Speedway. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.